Hi there, welcome to my channel mathssl. I'm going to explain to you now about the trigonometric functions, and in this section we will discuss the graph of the basic functions y is equal to sine theta. So for instance, we consider the y is equal to sine theta, and obviously we have to uh, the following table contains specific values of theta and the corresponding y values, which is a sine theta, which is this is x and this is a y values. Now, so if theta, for instance, if theta is 90 degree, and then sine 90 degree gonna be is equal to 1. You can punch your calculator, you will find the answers. So sine 180 degree 0, sine 270 degree negative 1. Now have a look here, sine 270 degree is equal to negative 1. So whenever you want to start the graph, don't write so many values, just write we counting in 90, 0, 90, 180, 270 and 360. So now we got the table, so we can represent the value of theta on the horizontal x-axis and y value on the vertical y-axis. So must remember, in grade 11 we need the negative x-axis as well, but now in grade 10 our curriculum only just positive x-axis and the y positive and negative x-axis. So have a look here, we can represent this graph on y-axis on and x-axis. So the shape of the graph is gonna be look like this, like a cubic graph, parabola, sad parabola, and then happy parabola. This is gonna be the shape of the sine theta, basic sine graph. So same like straight line goes. This is a straight line graph, and this is a sad parabola, and this is a happy parabola. So this is the sine graph. This is gonna be a shape. So which mean my maximum value is positive 1, the minimum is negative 1, as you can see from the y values. So which mean your graph don't need to be according to scale, but just must be neat and clean. They just want to see the concepts. So this is negative and 2 by 270, the y value is negative 1, 90 degree, the y value is positive 1. Now obviously the graph going to start from the 0, so it's gonna go up. This is peak, and now you have to cut the 180 degree, which is a x intercept. So it's going to be cut like this by this 180. Now obviously have to cut the have to minimum turning point have to take, and then go back to 360 degree, again cut the x-axis, again cut the x-intercept. So there we go, and there the graph. So this is the sine graph. You start from here, maximum, then minimum, then go back to 360 degree x-intercept. Now we need to learn the key features of this graph. So always shape gonna be look like this, and the key feature of the graph, I'm gonna write it down, I'll explain to you now. I don't want the video was be too long, that's why I have to write this one to show you. These are the main features of key features of this graph. So the maximum value is positive 1, minimum value is negative 1. As you can see, the maximum is positive 1, the minimum is negative 1. We have to see the y value, and then the range of the graph. The range of the graph between negative 1 and positive 1, this is set notation, so you have to underline, which mean the negative 1 and positive 1 is included, or you can write in interval notation, which is -1 and +1, but you have to write the big bracket. If you write the small bracket, then which mean -1 and +1 not included. So if you write the big bracket, which mean -1 and +1 is included. So the range, have a look the range. So if I write on +2 on top and +3 so on, and the down I can write -2, -3, so on infinity. So we cannot say the graph not gonna touch the +2, the graph not gonna touch the -3. So the range of the graph is only here, because the turning point, the maximum turning point by the +1 and the minimum turning point by the -1. So the range of the graph between -1 and +1, this is the range of the graph. And now you need to find the amplitude of the graph. Amplitude mean the peak or the height of the wave. So we can find through this formula 1/2 maximum value minus the minimum value. For this graph now, what we are busy now, so the maximum is +1, the minimum is -1. So we're gonna say 1/2 maximum minus -1 is -1 is here. So that this negative from the formula. So it's a 1/2. This is gonna be a negative is positive. 1 plus 1 is 2. So the 2 times 1 is 2. So it's gonna be 2/2. 2/2, answer gonna be 1. So the amplitude is 1 here. And amplitude always gonna be a positive. I'll show you in my next videos how. Next we're gonna find the domain of the graph. Domain of the graph is 0, between 0 and 360 degree. Have a look here. The graph, the domain to do with x-axis, the range to do with y values. So the graph is between 0 and 360 degree. This is the domain of the graph. Now the period of the graph is 360 degree, because this is the graph shape, and one sine wave completed in 360 degree. If we increase the values of theta, the graph of y is equal to sine theta will repeat its basic shape over 360 degree intervals. So if you got y is equal to sine theta, it repeats its basic shape every 360 degree. You must remember. So that's why the period is 360 degree. So if I want to do 720 degree, and then you add 720 again, the shape gonna repeats its basic shape. So have a look here. For instance, now this is the graph, and 360 plus 360 becomes 720. So from here again gonna graph up, and again down, again gonna go back there. So the shape gonna repeat, is again gonna be shaped like this. So the graph repeats its basic shape every 360 degree. So that's why the period is 360 degree. Now the sine is greater than 0 mean sine is positive, sine less than 0 means sine is negative. Have a look here. Where is the sine positive? Between 0 and 180 degree. Have a look, because the sine laying on the positive y-axis. Must remember, from 0 degree to top, the y value is positive. From 0 degree is at the bottom below, all the y value is negative. This is the graph is a positive between 0 and 180 degree. So between 0 and 180 degree, the graph is positive. So where is the graph negative? We need to see now. Let me show you. Have a look here. The graph is negative here. This all graph is negative here. Have a look from here, because from 0 degree on the y value, the y value is negative. So from 180 degree till 360 degree, the graph is laying by the negative y axis. So the graph is negative between 180 and 360 degree. 180 degree till 360 degree, the graph is negative. Now the graph is decreasing. Why is the graph is decreasing? Have a look here. So the graph is going up, increasing. Always have to read the graph left hand side to right hand side. Mathematics always from left hand side to right hand side. So I have to read the graph from left to right. So this is the graph is increasing, going up. As you can see, the graph is increasing by the turning point. Now the graph is decreasing again. By this turning point, the graph is again increasing. So he talking about decreasing. So between 90 and 270 degree, the graph is decreasing. So the between 0 and 90, the graph increase. Between 270 and 360, graph increase. Between 90 and 270, the graph is decrease. So between 90 degree and 270 degree, the graph is decrease, and the increase between 0 degree till 90 degree, again from 2700 and 270 degree till 360 degree. So two place graph is increase, and only between 90 and 270 the graph is decrease. See there, 090 increase, 270 till 360 increase, between 90, have a look here, till 270 decrease, they are coming down. Now the last thing, x-intercept. So we got three x-intercept. X-intercept, y value is equal to 0. Why is the y value 0? At 0, 180 and 360, have a look here. The graph touching x-axis 3 place, 0 degree, 180 degree and 360 degree. So the x-intercept gonna be 0 degree and 0 and 180 degree and 0, and the last is 360 degree and 0. So these are the three x-intercept. And the y-intercept, have a look here, only y-intercept x value is equal to 0, only here. This is a y-intercept only, because only here is x value is 0. Other than that, there is no x value 0. Have a look there. So the y-intercept gonna be only 0 degree and 0. Y-intercept x value 0, only here. You can see x value only 0 by the 0 degree. So the y-intercept 0 degree and 0. In my next video, I will show you the equation of the graph, and I will explain to you about the amplitude shifting. Please like and subscribe my channel. If you have any question, comment below. I will assist you. Have a nice day.